All right, let's get into sort 35 for words their way. And here we are looking at the ends of the words, the end in et, it, or ate. And this sort is pretty straightforward, except for a couple oddballs, but we're going to go over the meanings of the words here, so let's get into it. And I want to start with these oddballs here to explain a little bit why they're oddballs and why they're pronounced the way they are. So first of all, most of you know the meaning of ballet, which is the dance. But some people needed to know this word buffet, and a buffet is a style of eating or dining for the meal where all the food is kept separate, like on a long table, and you get the food you want and then you take it back to your own table. So that's a buffet. And many like hotels will have a breakfast buffet in the morning. So you've probably seen it there if you've been to a hotel like that. And then the other thing that I want you to know about these two words is why we pronounce them with this A sound at the end instead of ballot and buffet. And the reason why is that these words are actually French. They come from the French language. They're from France. And in French, they pronounce that ET as A. And there's other words that are like that as well. But this week you've got ballet and buffet. All right, let's look at some of the other words now on the list. Starting with summit. And I'll give you two definitions of summit. Probably the more common one is the peak or the top of a mountain. So you can see here is the summit. And it can be a noun or verb. You can summit a mountain, which means you climb to the top. Or the summit is a noun. It means the actual place. The peak of the mountain is a summit. But summit can also mean a meeting of important leaders. So like if the leader of Japan and China and America and other countries, the leaders got together and had a meeting, that would be called a summit. So just the second meaning, maybe less common, but that is also a summit. Next, let's do the word orbit. An orbit is when something travels around the sun or around a planet and so on. So all of the planets here orbit around the sun, and the moon orbits around the Earth, and other planets like Jupiter has more than one moon that are always orbiting. And it's the times of difference, like it takes the Earth, for example, 365 days to orbit the sun. It takes the moon a little less than a month to orbit around the Earth. So that is the orbital path, or they're orbiting. That's what it means. Next up, let's do another space word, which is comet. And a comet is a bright object with a tail, not like an animal tail, but this is the tail of the comet. And comets are also orbiting the sun, so they're traveling around the sun. But you only see them in the sky sometimes. You don't see them like every day. There's not a comet in the sky. And just some bonus information, kind of the most famous comet, at least that I know of, is called Halley's Comet. And it only comes into the sky every 74 to 79 years. The last time was 1986, and if you're very patient and can wait almost 50 more years, you can see it again in the year 2061. Next, let's do bandit. And bandit, I think it's a little bit of an old-fashioned word, but it's basically a robber who's part of a gang. So if someone was traveling along a road and they get robbed by some guys hiding in the bushes, those might be bandits who come out and rob them. Next up, climate. And our class has done this already in our weather unit, but this is the exact definition. An area's pattern of weather over a long period of time is the climate of a place. Like in Japan, we have seasonal climate with 4 different seasons. And we'll give merit 2 definitions. One thing, the merits of something are the good qualities of that person or the thing. We can also say merit is like to deserve or earn something. When I think of merit, I think first of merit badges. Like these are badges Scouts earn or deserve if they've done something well. So those are merit badges. You might have also heard of the word demerit. And demerit is the opposite of merit. So it's marks against someone for doing something wrong. So for example, when I was in like junior high school or high school, teachers would write you demerits. Like if I was late to class, the teacher would write me a demerit. And if you got enough, you would get in trouble. Like you'd have to have detention and stay after school or something like that. So I don't know if many schools use that anymore, but that's the opposite. Merit is a good thing. Demerit is the opposite or a bad thing. And let's just do maybe 2 more here. And I'm going to move maybe over here. Let's call limit as far as you can go, but the meaning could be more than one meaning of limit. So for example, the speed limit, if it's 50, it means you can't drive more than 50 miles per hour. That's as far as you can go. If I'm drinking too much coffee, I might want to limit my coffee to 2 cups a day, so I'm not going to go far. And you probably will want to know the other form, which is limitation. And finally, we will do the word Senate. And I'll give you a little bit of bonus information here to build up your knowledge. But first, the meaning of Senate is, but the Senate are the politicians who make the laws of a country. And it's different from country to country. In America, they live in this, they work in this building called the Capitol, and they make the laws, and they think about the laws. But many countries kind of have the same style, but they might have different names for it. But in the USA, you've got the Congress, and that's 2 groups, which is the Senate, which has 100 people, or 2 per state. And then the House of Representatives, or people just call it the House for short, which is 435 people, and together they make the laws for a country. And almost every country, or many countries, have the same system. Like Australia, they call theirs the Parliament, and it has the same thing, Senate and House. And the UK has a Parliament too, and these are different for them, but it's just kind of the same idea. In Japan, it's called the National Diet, or the Kokai, and please forgive my bad kanji. But the same idea, people who make the laws of a country. So that's it for this week, and thank you for watching. And this again was Sort 35. Bye.